Hello, Neumont. This is a bit of a strange intro, but we are already into the match. As I am here, my name is Albie, and I'll be casting today's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate match between our Neumont Llamas and the Blue Yotes. Right now, we are actually in, I believe, the third game into our crew battle with both teams at an even 7 stocks, though the percentage difference is favoring the Blue Yotes currently. At least, actually, hold on. I believe that I have sides mixed up. Hold on. There we are. Yeah. So, Llamas do have a solid lead here percentage-wise, but it really is down, and I just jinxed it. It looks like that our young Link has secured the final stock on the Inkling to make it now a 6 stock game for the Blue Yotes and a 7 stock game for Neumont. Now that we are in a calmer spot, this is a A-team game for Super Smash Bros. Versus, I believe, I know they're called the Blue Yotes, but I don't know what the specific school is. I believe it is a California state school. Either way, I think that this game will be quite an engaging one. It seems like it's fairly close with really only a stock difference here. And once again, I am Albie. I'll be hosting this stream alone, sadly. I do not have a co-host, but I'll be here to bring you as much action as I can bear. Seeing that young Link, it is now Yotes' turn to decide what player they want to put in next. I think it'll be interesting to see what type of fighter they'll put in against the single stock young Link. If they'll try to kind of pick something that's hard counter or a positive matchup against the young Link, or if they'll try to throw something that can just try to get a quick stock, and something that might be a little bit more all-rounder, since even if the young Link takes a stock or even 2 off, the Yotes will have a chance to kind of, play their cards, and really it's just 1 stock, right? As for map pick, I am not really sure what Yotes might look into. It does, I'm thinking about young Link's strengths and weaknesses. I do wonder if they might go for something that can't really give young Link as much opportunity to set up and really build the projectiles and setups that it wants to succeed. Really hard to tell. Just a close game like this, it's really going to be down to the wire in terms of small micro decisions that change the game. So on one hand, that micro decision could be the character or the stage that is chosen. However, it can also boil down to some single interaction that we might see in the future. It looks like Yotes are beginning to select their change in fighter. We will have to see what that fighter might be. Otherwise, I just came back from a event known as Frex. Many of you probably know what that is if you're as familiar with Neumont. And I actually just cast a different Smash game, one a lot more casually in person. So I've been engrossed in Smash Bros for quite a couple hours now at this point. Gonna be interesting. See how long I can keep it up. I apologize if it drops to silence much. Solo casting is a fun challenge. I do enjoy trying to figure out how to solo cast, but on the other hand, it would be nice to have someone to banter with in these sort of long pauses. With Neumont in the lead, though, I believe this is only game one, which is a best of 3 in terms of the crew itself. So once a team runs out of stocks, we will be going into a second round with all the stocks reset, everything back to the way it was at the very beginning with 12-12. The middle of a crew battle is really interesting because usually you try to have some sort of starter, right, in that front spot that could really start out with a bang, really get some picks, maybe go on a run. And then your last spot, your anchor, almost always wants to be something like either your best player or one of your best players that has really good matchups, right? And so that leaves the middle of the crew battle to be a bit more, what's the word? A bit more inconsistent. You can see some really explosive players, some players that are really focused on a specific gimmick or character. It's really up in the air. And I think that's a really cool part of the way these sort of things are structured. Looks like we are still waiting on some character picks here. It's going to be interesting to see really what you pull out against this young Link, because it's, I believe, now 4 stocks that this young Link was taken down. While I was still setting up stream, I was able to watch a couple of the games as I was, hooking up everything. But, with only really 1 stock remaining, it's going to be a tough choice, I think, for the Yotes to choose either to focus out the young Link, get that 1 stock out of the way so that they can't take any more, or try to play a little bit more risky, play something that maybe isn't the best into young Link, but would be really good into whatever Llamas might be having next. We're going to... And then in terms of stage, once again, I'm just... Oh, it looks like we might be ready for the next round. Yotes has their player in the ring, ready to go, ready to fight our young Link and see where it goes. In the meantime, the Llamas looks like they're taking their sweet time to get back in the lobby. But once they do, I'll be here to give you the action. All right. Moving into the game, let's see what we have up against our young Link. It is a Dark Pit. Interesting choice here. Dark Pit is a bit of an all-rounder, so it's interesting to go into this. I think the idea is that hopefully we can just get that pick on Llama's young Link from the Yotes and move on with our lives with a bit more of a well-rounded character. All right, we are on PS2, which is a good choice from the Yotes. Getting ready to fight. Boomerang comes out, just kind of playing this neutral, throwing projectiles. Both teams trying to find the opening that they need. Seems like Pit's trying to play defensive, waiting out the projectiles, just kind of giving it. Oh, and there's an opportunity that Pit found, able to get 50% off in such a quick interaction. Still, though, the young Link is able to throw some stuff out, back into neutral. More comes out. Pit wanting to move back into mid. Young Link really at kill percent if they can find the right move. And Dark Pick seems to agree with a forward smash coming out, but Young Link just coming out with that up special and always disrupting. Young Link out on the right side, might be able to recover. Able to dodge the Pit's smash attacks as we're back into neutral. Boomerangs keep coming out. Everything just trying to get projectiles to start some sort of momentum. This Young Link's really at the percentage where it's going to start being dangerous to really approach the Dark Pit at all. Spin attack comes out at almost 100%. Can they get a stock off of this Young Link, this Dark Pit, to make this fight a bit more worthwhile? It does not look like it, as Neumont loses a stock and is now an even game once again. Dark Pit taking that set. That game, excuse me. That was a really interesting neutral, I think. Both players really wanted to kind of fish for bow on the opening of their advantage to try and find a hit on the opponent, move, and just kind of take advantage of that hit stun that such a projectile provides. We saw a lot of spin attacks from the Young Link trying to disrupt the Dark Pit, and I really do think that if this was a two-stock game, or even if one interaction went slightly differently, that Young Link definitely could have taken a stock off that Dark Pit, and we might be seeing a game that is not as even as it is right now. We will have to see what Neumont wants to bring out now against this Dark Pit. They only have 2 players left, so they can really just choose between... I'm not quite sure what Neumont is currently running for their fighters. I'm pretty sure there's a Pac-Man or an Isabelle. I don't remember which. But I feel like that might be saved for the anchor slot. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the third fighters, the third fighter on Neumont's side, excuse me, Dark Pit is Yote's third fighter, will be. In terms of map, I think it will really depend on what Neumont brings out. Pit feels pretty well-rounded in that way. I don't think there's too many like specific counter picks for him. So I think it will be more focused on what can enable our character pick more than the Dark Pit. I do wonder if Neumont has another character that heavily relies on projectiles. It might be a little scary with a character that, while not having a reflector, does have that down special that can just kind of shut down projectiles in a really strong way. Alternatively, though, it may be a better idea. Ooh, all right. That was quite fast from Neumont. Already ready to go, it seems. I believe. Just one moment. All right, we do have our Pac-Man out. All right, Pac-Man into Dark Pit. We're going to have to see what map we're playing this time. Looks like we're back on small battlefield. Both teams taking a moment to, because they forgot that the Dark Pit did lose a stock. But now that we're in neutral, Fire Hydrant already out. The Pac-Man able to find a grab, though doesn't get much value. Kind of even percentage-wise. Going for a grab, misses, but doesn't get punished too much. Apple grab by the Pit. Almost identical percentage-wise. Peach comes out. Able to get some value. Doesn't seem like it secures anything here. Pac-Man is able to take a decent percentage advantage. Now at 100%, cheeky smash attack might be able to finish off Pit at this point. However, Pit is doing a good job at juggling this Pac-Man. Yotes are really just looking to secure the game, and so is Neumont. Neither team has to make some huge 3-0 here, though of course that would be nice. A throw should have killed the Pac-Man, but good DI saved him. Hydrant comes out, but it just gets hit through as the first stock is taken by the Pit, giving the Yotes a stock lead. However, that stock lead may not last long as Pit is at kill percentage, and there's a grab that comes out, doesn't get a kill, just a forward throw to try to set something up, though it returns back to neutral pretty clearly. Key thrown out, doesn't get much. Hydrant trying to hit. At 154, this Pit is really going to die to a lot of things, but the Pac-Man just can't secure the kill. 41%, 57. This stock might be a decent lead for the Yokes coming in. Pit just keeping this Pac-Man at bay, almost at 80, almost at kill percent himself, while the Pit has been at 150 for almost this entire stock from the Pac-Man. A kill could secure it, but it's just once again, this Pit is surviving everything that the Pac-Man throws. Just barely surviving once more, now at 170. Smash attack doesn't find anything. Pac-Man is also at kill percent, and that could be punished, but the shield saves him. And finally, the kill on the Pit is secured with the fire hydrant, though now the Pac-Man is the one that has to play for life. Dash attack interrupted when it felt like it would have been true. Ooh, quite a good edge guard coming out from the Pac-Man. That gets a pretty solid percentage catch-up coming in from the Pac-Man. Now it's 70%. That almost kills. This game is feeling a lot closer than it was 10 seconds ago, but at the same time, the Pit quickly secures the kill, making our score now 5-4. Pit still within kill percentage. We could make this an even game still. 25%, 39. Quite a decent edge guard from the Pit, keeping this Pac-Man at bay. Smash attack comes out, doesn't find anything. Grab doesn't find anything. It just feels like things should be hitting on this Pac-Man, but just don't. 84% on the Pac-Man. It's within killing percentage for both players, but Yotes are the one with the stock advantage. Smash attack comes out, shielded. Punish comes out, but doesn't kill the Pac-Man. 163 on this Pit. This Pit needs to die if Llamas wants to secure this game a little bit longer. Finally getting the pick with the hydrant. It is now 1-1, and we are at a 4-stock game. Peach comes out, 103% on this Pac-Man. It's really just going to come down to if this Pac-Man is able to secure this final pick, which is going to be quite the Sisyphean task. Sisyphean. I apologize on that mispronunciation. With that said, this really good edge guard is able to at least put the Pit on edge, but not able to secure anything here. 40 is a decent percentage, but it's not going to get any kills anytime soon unless we can get this Pit off the stage. 50, 60%. Throwing out aerials, trying to get something, and we are getting value. 85. Dark Pit just needs really one strong hit on this Pac-Man, and the game is over, but it's slowly becoming true the other way around. Neutral Air comes out from the Pit, able to grab the bell so that it might be used against the Pac-Man that threw it. Peach comes out. Grabs successfully hit. Both teams are at kill percentage, but it looks like the Dark Pit is barely able to secure one final hit on the Pac-Man, and it is now a 4-3 game. That was a really interesting fight from Yotes and Llamas. It felt like there were some times where both players really had the chance to kill, but it just didn't seem like anything was being secured. But at the same time, there were also many parts of the game where it just felt like hit after hit were able to be taken. A lot of good advantage state from both teams. Looking to Llamas, this is probably going to be our anchor against the Pit with one stock. If the Pit is able to take a stock, that will be huge for Yotes. But if they aren't, it will be down to an even game, basically a 1v1. Either way, game 2 will certainly be interesting. Choices for the Llamas. I don't know what their anchor is currently playing, but their anchor. Oh shoot! I used to remember the Smash Team's anchor. I apologize for not being able to commentate on that. But either way, I expect something that will probably be fairly survivable, just able to hold down the advantage state that really the Llamas need to take this stock and take on the final player from the Yotes roster. Yotes here really just wants that one pick. I don't think they're going to be shooting for anything more than just get this kill. No, this is not Eric. Hi, I am Albie. I am solo casting today. Again, with the game that is Neumont versus Yotes. And it looks like the Isabel comes out. I was right earlier. It wasn't just a Pac-Man or an Isabel. It was both. All right. It's really going to boil down to seeing if this Isabel is able to secure the pick on the Dark Pit before the set ends. And vice versa, if Dark Pit is able to take a pick off of Isabel and put them in disadvantage for what will probably be the final fight. Unless this is the final fight. Nusu comes out, pretty standard. Isabel fishing, setting up their usual rocket and just kind of sitting on the edge, but able to find a pretty solid chain of hits to get up to 85% on this Dark Pit. Able to get a grab already at kill percentage, really. This edge guard will be quite interesting to watch as the rocket trap instantly finishes what might be the fastest stock I've seen in quite a long time. All right. With a fully even game, it will really just boil down to which team has the better anchor. With our Isabel on Llamas fighting against, who knows on the Yotes? It really could be anyone. Usually anchors aren't going to be super counter picky. They're just going to put either their strongest player or their most consistent player in the back. Usually some sort of combination of the two. And so I'm unsure that we'll see too many wonky picks. We might see just someone with a solid character doing a solid job. With that said, though, we are in the part of the set where it's really just going to boil down to how these two fight against each other. And so looking at what Isabel is good at, what Isabel is bad at, there are some things that could be lucky. There are some things that could be not so lucky. It really just having a character like Isabel that really plays for some interesting setups as an anchor. Tell it, Eric. Gage said hi. Eric is not currently here. Once again, I am Albie. I am solo casting. There's no one else here. But thank you, Twitch chat, for confusing me with another person. Either way, it's really just going to be interesting to see what the Yotes kind of want to do in this set, because while I did say counterpicks are not too common on the anchor, I would say that it could certainly be possible for the anchor to have a somewhat large character pool and have the ability to really have the advantage on Isabel and choose who they think will be strongest against them, because they don't have to worry about any other players coming in, right? This is the last set of the first match. A reminder that this will be a best of 3. But it really just boils down to, once again, a 1v1, right? It'll be interesting to see kind of how these two play around each other, knowing that this is kind of do or die, right? There is no cushion. And I think those anchors are used to that, right? The anchors are used to that job because that's why they're here, right? They're set in that anchor spot to be the last line of defense. But anchor v anchor like this will be quite an interesting thing to view. I mean, when you see him, I will say hi to Eric when I see him. Thank you. All right. Suppose it's really just down to Yotes, just waiting on them to choose the character and the stage. Otherwise, I mean, sadly, I don't have much to talk about. It's just been a good set all around from both teams right now. Very, very close. We quite quickly had both teams really hit it off, hit the ground running. Now we're down to 3-3 of round 1. I'd like to let the chat know about a new command in our Twitch chat. Exclamation mark merch will bring up the Neumont esports merch page, which will allow you to view a variety of different clothing options to support the Neumont Llamas. And that is exclamation mark merch. Quite a long pause here, I will say, from the side of from the side of the Yotes. All right, it looks like the Yotes are ready to go. And we see a Rosalina Luma. I should have guessed that from the profile picture. They weren't hiding it. They weren't hiding it particularly. As it really just boils down to this. Stage-wise, we are on PS2. Neutral just kind of begins. We already have a setup from the Isabel, able to get the trap already at 40% on the Rosalina. Because of that, 50% able to come out. Isabel already able to just get a decent lead off of this Rosalina. 92% before they finally hit a couple hits. And now the Isabel is back in disadvantage to try to get something to happen. Rosalina doing a decent job at edge guarding this Isabel. But the Isabel is able to get back into mid and kind of flips the stage. All right. Rosalina really at kill percent, ready to die to a well-placed rocket. Just barely doesn't. 138 really will be any kill will end. As I say that, the Isabel able to secure the first pick of the game. And it's already a decent advantage for Neumont. %29 on the Rosalina, already pretty decent. Isabel really still not at kill percentage. They are pretty light. We might see a cheeky kill if they were at edge, but really right now, Isabel can sit tight, knowing that they can play a little bit more aggressive without throwing away the game. It's almost even percentages. Percentage advantage is now on the Isabel, despite having a stock up 97%. Luna is gone. 100, 117, almost dead. All they need is one smart hit, and it will be a 3-1 set. Rosalina is able to get out and able to take the pick, making it even, but the Rosalina does have the stock disadvantage. Just barely surviving the fishing rod. They are one hit away from basically exploding instantly. And there it is. That is Rosalina down to the last stock of the first round. Able to hit a couple up tilts, get a grab, but the Rosalina is able to get out with the Luma pretty easily. Percentages are even, but with a stock up, Isabel is really sitting in just a comfortable position to hold on to this game. But Rosalina does have the tools to switch it back around. A throw comes out, able to get the Isabel off the stage, but a quick recovery, and it just doesn't seem like it matters that much. Rosalina able to also get back onto the center stage. Percentage advantage is on the side of Isabel, but it doesn't seem that big. It's basically even. Both sides recovering from that interesting edge. 100% on the Rosalina, already ready to basically finish the game. And that is the final stock of the first round. Neumont will be taking the first game of 3. To the person in chat asking if we have jerseys. Yes, we do have jerseys. We both have jerseys for players as well as jerseys on our merch page. All right, moving into game 2, we'll be resetting all of our stocks back to 12. All right, hold on. Just give me one moment. I apologize. All right, we are now even at 12-12. Moving into game 2, I can give a little information about the players that we sadly did not get to see due to the late stream start. On the side of Neumont, I believe we have a Ness, a Young Link, and then a Ness and a Young Link, as well as the two we just recently saw, the Pac-Man and Isabelle. And on the side of the Blue Yotes, we have, I believe, a Cloud, an Inkling, and then a Rosalina and a Dark Pit. It'll be interesting to see if either side changes what characters they're playing when we move into round 2. It will seemingly boil down to what order as well, because it may be interesting to see if we start with something different, if we return to the Cloud and the Nest matchup from round 1, or if we see some new characters entirely. We could see Echo Fighters like... I don't exactly know the difference between Pit and Dark Pit besides their Final Smashes, but Final Smashes are not legal here, so I'm unsure if there's... I feel like their neutral special is slightly different. Don't quote me on that, though. But either way, we could see some swaps on that, or we could see just completely different characters. I mean, for all we know, Yotes could pull out Duck Hunt and play Duck Hunt. I don't want that, but they could do it. In terms of Neumont, I don't believe they typically like changing characters between sets. I would assume they'll simply stick to what they're familiar with, stick to their lineup, their classic combination. It seems like one of the players left. Am I incorrect in this being a best of 3? I don't believe so. All right, let's take a quick look. All right, SweetT is back. It is indeed a best of 3. I apologize for being a little confused on that. So I will be here streaming the rest of the action for a good long while. So sit back, relax, grab a snack, and enjoy some Neumont Llama Smash Brothers. For our starting players, I do think we might see the Ness come out once again. As for Yotes, it's really up in the air, but last time it was a Cloud, so we may see a Cloud again. Otherwise, we could see some a variety of things. We could see the Dark Pit kind of come in early, or the Inkling come in early. I feel like they'll probably stick with the Rosalina as the anchor. Or they might try to swap it around, since it did seem like that Isabelle had a pretty strong advantage over the Rosalina. It'll really boil down to what Yotes thinks will do the best against the Young Link and Rosalina, which seem to do really well against Yotes. All right. As for stage, I believe our default stage will be small battlefield. I think that... oh, no. I believe Yotes gets to choose, because it's round 2. And Yotes lost. Okay. Interesting. Oh, it was canceled. Was that accidental? What exactly happened there? Interesting. Said could not begin the battle. I wonder what caused that. Huh. Either way, if the Isabel was a genuine pick from Yotes, at least I believe that was Yotes, that's a really interesting to pull out the Isabel game one after not playing it all of round one and losing the final set to an Isabel. Is it just kind of a we can do this better than you pick? Do they think that Isabel could mess up llamas? Or is there something deeper I don't understand yet? Will be interesting to see what comes out of either of these, if those were the picks or if there was some sort of mess up, and that's why the match was canceled. In other news, while I'm here, the Smash team is playing today, but tomorrow, not on this channel, but on the channel for, I believe, oh shoot, apologies, not tomorrow. Later this week, maybe Sunday. Just look forward to more PCL games of a variety of games. As well as I believe there will be a Splatoon game not streamed by Neumont, but by the CCA, which is the league that a Splatoon team plays in. So that is tomorrow. The CCA Splatoon game is tomorrow. But otherwise, next week we'll have a variety of things to be streamed, and I've been quite excited for this esports season overall. It's been going pretty well. Looking at what our teams are doing, it seems like something's going on. Sadly, in the casting booth, I don't have much information. Not much more than you guys, at least. So I'll just be here to keep talking, keep filling the air as we wait for the beginning of the Yotes versus Neumont Llamas round 2. It does seem like Yotes may be finally ready, and I just got a communication error. I will be right back. Just unmuting for a quick moment to let everyone know that the room, the private room for the game, every single person got a communication error that was in it. So just give us a short moment to get everyone back in the room, and the next game will begin shortly. All right. Sorry about that. We are now back with an Isabelle that was the actual pick that came out from Yotes on PS2. It feels like deja vu, but the Rosalina has been replaced by this weird kid. Moving into neutral, it really just seems like the Isabelle pick might be for the pocket, so it could just kind of shut down the PK fires as best as it can. Yeah, seeing a lot of pockets coming out from this Isabelle. Able to get the fishing rod. Doesn't really follow up on it, though. Interesting plays from the Isabelle here. Grab comes out, able to find it. Ness is down in percentage, but it's not really a huge difference. Really, one PK fire could easily change it. We see the Ness trying to get some pressure onto the Isabelle, but the Isabelle is able to get out and put some pressure on it, on the Ness themselves. Fishing rod comes out. It's 97%, not quite kill percentage, but it is looking pretty bad for this Ness. We see the throw come out. Now we're looking at a kill percentage likely. 122 on the Ness. Ness is having hard time getting in on this Isabelle. Just kind of spamming that fishing rod, trying to get something, trying to get this final kill. Able to get the PK fire. The Isabelle does recover, and it just feels like this Ness is unable to secure much more than a few percentage points at a time. First pick does come from the Yotes. Down to 60%. Spike off the stage. Somehow survives it. 85, 99%. A good back throw may be the difference. Ooh, Smash Attack comes out. Doesn't find anything. 130 kill percentage. The Ness got pineappled. Oh, no. Kill finally secured on the Isabelle. But it is not looking great for Neumont this first round. Forward smash comes out. Easy getting some good percentage on this Isabelle. Might be able to turn the tides of this game at least a little bit. Dash attack coming out. Fishing for that PK fire. Gets some really good damage. Backing up, making sure it's safe. Trying to stop the recovery. Doesn't go amazingly, but still surviving. Able to push them off, and now this looks a lot closer than it did a few seconds ago. 10-10, both sides. Really only about 20 points of difference. PK Fire comes out, basically evens it out. And it really is anyone's game at this point. But this edge guard is going really well for the Isabelle. Able to just keep going. Chain of events repeating over and over again. 3 fishing rods in a row. Doesn't get the 4th. Nair comes out, able to really recover. The Ness did take quite a beating from that disadvantage state, though. It is at kill percentage for the Ness, but a smart play could also save this game, but it doesn't look like that play will happen as one more fishing rod comes out and secures Ness's last stock. Though 2 stocks did go down in that game, so it's not quite a sweep. That Isabelle was quite an interesting playstyle. I would have been very frustrated if I had to play against that Isabelle. There are a few ways an Isabelle can play, and that is one of the more frustrating to fight against, is just relying so heavily on that fishing rod. We saw kind of what a different style of Isabelle might look like when we watched Neumont's Isabelle in round 1, but this Isabelle from Yotes was a lot more, I would say, gimmicky, really focusing on that fishing rod, able to get some pretty high value grabs from that fishing rod. Just such a valuable edge guarding tool against Ness, able to pull him out of his recovery since he's just so vulnerable during that state. I don't think we saw PK Thunder come out once, in fact. As for Llamas, if they do stick to all their normal, I suppose, characters, we might see a Young Link come out soon. If that Young Link is pushed out against this Isabelle, it'll be interesting to see how that Isabelle uses Pocket. Are they able to find the picks they need with Pocket and grab that valuable projectiles, try to shut down the Toon Link, or if we just see more of the same, more of the fishing rod and really just more fishing rod. I will say there were some. There was that one part in the middle where Ness was doing quite a lot, able to really secure a lot of value. And while overall Yotes is in the lead, it is only by one stock, and I would say that the 2 stocks that were secured by the Ness were pretty well fought, and maybe the difference later down the road. It is up to Neumont to change their character, so it will boil down to how this this set goes. Is everything all right on the end of both these teams? I am noticing that. Okay, it seems like Sweet Team may have disconnected. Very interesting that our internet connection, maybe the most difficult opponent of all. See if we can get back in here. It's going to be interesting. Moving into game 2 to see what map we pick, because Isabelle, with this sort of setup, and especially with a playstyle that is so heavily reliant on fishing rod, I feel like there are some smart decisions we can make on what stage we take this Isabelle to. We may see something like an FD come out, something like a Hollow Bastion, or we might see the Animal Crossing stages themselves. It really just boils down to what Llamas thinks will be a good pick into this Isabelle. I'm not quite familiar on the specific counter picks that would really enable Llamas and disable Isabelle's game plan, but I am fairly certain that we could see some value in something that has a little bit less platforms. All right, both teams are setting up now. I'm assuming that the Yotes player is selecting the map, and then Neumont will be selecting the map and the mode, since they have to do both. Not the map and the mode. Sorry, my Splatoon brain came out. The map and the fighter. Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see what Llamas decides to pull out against this Isabelle, because this Isabelle is quite annoying to fight, and it's going to continue to be annoying to fight. I really don't think that Isabelle is going to particularly change their playstyle. It didn't seem like they were the sort that was just kind of committing to that because it worked. Maybe a little bit. We did see more fishing rods towards the end of the match than towards the beginning. There is also the possibility they played that way since that move is just so good into Nessa's recovery, since Nessa's recovery has so much vulnerability. Looks like Llamas and Yotes are both ready to go. Let's see what the Llamas pull out. It looks like the Pac-Man comes out round 2, which leaves the Young Link and the Isabelle on Llamas. For stage, it looks like we are on small battlefield, and let's just watch as the Isabelle drops their 2 stocks. And now the round begins. Pac-Man coming in, able to get some decent percentage, but not much. Already throwing them off the edge, but it just doesn't get much value. Pocket comes out, able to get the fruit, which is just a very valuable in this Pac-Man matchup. It seems like it's just going to be fishing for that pocket. And I do notice a lot less fishing rods, so it may have been focused on that Ness's recovery. Able to come back from very deep for the Pac-Man. Really just seems like the Pac-Man's waiting until it is able to get an opening and then just gonna try to get the percentage from there. Able to find that opening, getting 68%, 75, pretty decent up smash, trying to finish it out, but just doesn't look like it was able to connect. A side B comes out, up air. This Isabelle is looking like it's starting to get juggled. Fire hydrant pocketed. Peach thrown out. I think this fire hydrant might be trying to bait the Isabelle's pocket so that they can't pocket the projectiles. Hydrant comes out, able to get... Oh, and that finishes with a clean take of the stock, and we are back to an even game as Pac-Man cleans up against the Isabelle, making it fully even. That was a really interesting game. We saw that the reliance on fishing rod seemed to be more of a matchup thing, and that the Isabelle from Yotes didn't seem to want to use it quite as much into our new player of excuse me, our new player of the Pac-Man. Apologies, which makes sense. The Ness has a recovery that really needs time, and that leaves him in one spot, and so a move like that can safely take him and bring him back on stage and then throw him back while taking some extra damage really is valuable in that sort of matchup. As we move into game 3 of round 2, it'll be interesting to see just what specifically happens between the Pac-Man and whoever is up next. We may see, I believe, the Dark Pit, Cloud, and Inkling. We're playing on this second Yotes account, whereas the Rosalina was likely the person also playing the Isabelle, which is interesting. To move your anchor from round 1 to your starter of round 2, if that is what is happening, is an interesting choice. Wow, Yotes gets ready quite fast as we are looking like we are moving into this game 3 pretty swiftly. In terms of what it might look like, all three of the players, all three of the characters left are fairly aggressive. I would say that Cloud, Dark Pit, and Inkling are all fairly aggressive characters. None of them play quite as passively as a Isabelle or even a Pac-Man. So it'll be interesting to watch as this Pac-Man fights one or potentially multiple of them. The matchup is ready, and it is the Dark Pit that's coming out next. I do remember the Dark Pit was playing against this Pac-Man, I believe. Though that was only a one-stock game. However, here now, they'll be playing all 3 stocks fully. Neutral comes out. Pac-Man able to find a quick 30%, 40%, 60% quickly coming out from the Pac-Man. However, the Dark Pit already has the opportunity to kind of even it out. Fire Hydrant comes out. 75% on the Dark Pit. Parries the Hydrant. Cherry doesn't find anything. Smash Attack comes out, doesn't find anything. It is already a pretty decent lead percentage-wise for the Pac-Man. Hydrant comes out, doesn't hit anything. Back into sort of neutral state. Dark Pit does find some percentage on the Pac-Man, but it's really not enough to catch up. Now at 100%, the Dark Pit is really at the chance where if that smash attack hit, for example, it probably would have killed. Hydrant comes out. It's blocked. Neutral Air comes out, able to get the pit kind of off stage. Shield looking very small in that Dark Pit. Bow comes out. Peach able to pressure, but a parry kind of shuts down that value. Up smash trying to find something, doesn't really get anything. Hydrant comes out again. Up smash hit. It is looking a lot closer than it did a few seconds ago, as Dark Pit and Pac-Man are both at a solid kill percentage. The the Galaga comes out, not finding much. Dash attack, smash, and that is a secured pick. Though it looks like straight into a solid edge guard from Dark Pit. Let's see if we can get any percentage at least on the Dark Pit before we watch. Oh, 35%. And that doesn't secure a pick, so we are still in the game. But the Pac-Man DIs on a hit that probably should have killed. Able to get 40, 50, 60%, 73% out, 80. It's just random chases getting random hits, and it's just going up and up as we have almost kill percentage, almost a full stock advantage on the Pac-Man. Smash attack comes out. Neutral Air able to get some damage, but doesn't get much follow-up. Hydrant is hit. Another crazy DI from the Pac-Man saves him. And it looks like the kill is finally secured on the Pac-Man, though the Pit now has a solid percentage to need to catch up. 102 on the Dark Pit. Up smash shielded. Neutral Air comes out. Not much value coming out but it was a solid hit. Hydrant low. Bell blocked by the platform. If that was just not a platform, that would have been a hit on that Pit. I guess I'm rhyming today. Melon comes out, not able to find much value, but it does get a grab from the pressure. Grab attempt, doesn't really get anything. Stocks are even, but once again, Pit is really at the chance at any opportunity could just explode. Whereas the Pac-Man doesn't quite have the opportunity to play to be quite as destroyed. Pac-Man does get the pick, but pineapples himself. Oh no! Suddenly this game looks way closer due to a kerfuffle on the side of Neumont Llamas. Hydrant comes out. It's really close now. That was quite the sad development on the side of Neumont. Hydrant comes out, able to get some value, but the percentage is just so similar. It doesn't really matter. 50%. Is that a death? No, Pac-Man does manage to survive. That almost was a very bad ending to this game. Hydrant comes out, able to pressure a bit, but not getting too much, at least currently, but it still could be launched. Neutral Air comes out, getting ready for a tech chase. Down air, able to find some value, but it's just a really interesting neutral. No one's able to find strong advantage here. Grab comes out from Pac-Man. 105. This is kill percent. Able to reflect the fire hydrant. That's a really good play by the Dark Pit. Excuse me. 126 on the Dark Pit. 135. A really good edge guard. Fire hydrant comes out. It's really down to the wire. 158. A single hit would kill. 164. Neutral Air comes out. 78% on this Pac-Man. Not quite kill percentage. Oh, and the forward smash comes out and finishes out the game. With 2 stocks down on Pac-Man and 3 stocks down on Dark Pit, it is now Yolks at 6 and Llamas at 7. Quite an engaging game. It might have been a much larger lead if the Pac-Man didn't hit the bottom of the PS2 stage and mess up their recovery. And PS2 can be a little wonky like that. There are some times where it will just kind of eat your recovery and you will die. It will be Yotz's turn to counterpick something. With our 2 players remaining, it's the Cloud and the Inkling. Both of those players we did not see last round, so it'll be interesting on stream. At least we did not see them. I was able to see them during setup, but it'll be interesting for me to fully analyze their gameplay and see just what Yotz is cooking with this second round. Against this Pac-Man, it'll be interesting to see just who. Again, I almost stumbled over my words. Against the Llamas and this Pac-Man, it'll be interesting to see who of those 2 they choose, or if they decide to throw out a new character similar to how they did with Isabelle. It has been some pretty powerful sets. Nothing has been quite a sweep yet. We haven't seen anything more than, I believe, a stock difference at the end of a match. The closest, I believe, was the end of round 1, where it was 2-0. So I suppose we did see a difference of 2 there, but that was the last game of the set. Moving into this next round, though, it will be quite interesting to see what exactly the Yols pull out. If they do go aggressive, if they do go with these Cloud and Inkling that we saw from round 1, I think the Pac-Man will have really a interesting opportunity to kind of play. I feel like the Pac-Man's goal at that point would be try to control the game, right? Try to control the tempo of the game, make as much value as possible from the hydrant, from the projectiles. Unlike Pit and Isabelle, neither of the 2 characters we saw had tools to really help with the neither 2 characters that we saw last round that could be played this round had tools to deal with the projectiles like Isabelle and Dark Pit did. So with a character like Pac-Man that relies so heavily on both his fruit and his hydrant, it'll be interesting to see how the matchup kind of changes when we're playing against a character that no longer has that tool like Pit Down B or Isabelle Pocket. As for stages, Yols really just wants something that would shut down the Pac-Man's ability to make these setups. And I do wonder if PS2 might be returning, because we did see it that it was messing up Pac-Man's recovery a little bit. There were 2 chances, 2 times where he almost died and 1 time where he did. Now, that could have just been the luck of the draw and isn't worth looking into. However, it could also be the difference between Yols' preferred choice. I have noticed that Yols has been pretty consistent with Small Battlefield and PS2. Those have been really the main maps we've watched so far. I don't believe we've seen any other map besides Small Battlefield and PS2 so far. I could be wrong on that. I fully have no clue. Either way, whatever does end up coming out, the Llamas will have to respond with I feel like probably doing more of what the Pac-Man did will work, right? I don't think the Pac-Man needs to change their playstyle too much, but I do think it will be interesting to see if the Pac-Man does die, because it is at 1 stock, right? What our 2 remaining players will do. That will be the Young Link and the Isabelle, assuming that we do not swap off either of them. And we saw that Isabelle secure a really solid game against the Rosalina. And assuming that that was their anchor and that was their best player, we might see that Isabelle come out early, possibly to just clean up. We are in the lead on the side of Llamas, especially if Pac-Man is able to take a stock that would really secure a solid lead. But if Pac-Man won't be able to secure a stock, then we will be down to an even game. And I think it will boil down to just who has the better player in terms of their final stand. And we saw that Llama's anchor was quite solid. Neumont's Isabel really cleaned up that last game against Rosalina. It looks like, though, I can't talk more about that as the Eels are getting ready to begin their next match. And we are just waiting on the Llamas now to join into the boxing ring and get stuff started. All right, moving into this game, it'll be interesting to see what they pull out. It is a Toon Link. We are completely out of what we saw last game. However, similarly to what I mentioned before, there is no reflector or similar tool for the side of Yols, which has been true the first two sets. So we see an Apple come out, able to get 20% pretty early. Dash attack, 26%, 40%, 53%, 62% before the Toon Link finally hit something back. 25% able to get onto the Pac-Man before we return to semi-neutral. The Hydrant is out, though, and it's really... and it hits. It gets activated by a cross-map projectile that just weakly hits the Toon Link. I mean, not the Toon Link, the Pac-Man. Oh. We're much closer even now as the Toon Link finds some solid damage. Getting some solid shield pressure down. Up smash comes out, doesn't find much. Hydrant comes out, spin attack hits the Hydrant away. Doesn't get any value from it otherwise, though. Hydrant comes down again, but instantly gets hit away. Forward smash comes out. Percentages are nearly identical. Hydrant hits halfway across the map, and the Toon Link is officially in a disadvantaged state. An opportunity arises for Neumont to find a pick, getting the Peach out. The Hydrant secures the kill, and that is one pick against the Toon Link. There's a small chance that we may see some crazy gameplay from the Pac-Man, but I think the Pac-Man has really done their job in this set already. They got a pick on this person while they're at one stock, and really they're just going to be able to get more if they are let do what they're doing right now. 103, but 58% on the Toon Link, able to get more. Up smash comes out, just barely misses because of the dodge roll. 82%. Side special comes out, 95%. It is kill percentage again. Pac-Man comes out from ledge, trying to secure the pick, doesn't quite get it. Interesting. One single attack. Oh, the DI saves the Pac-Man, just barely keeping them in game. It may be that a pick may be secured, just barely not on the side of Llamas, as Yols stays barely alive. 146 is enough for many, many things to kill. 155 now. A bell comes out, just barely misses the Toon Link. Forward smash comes out, doesn't get anything, and that may be game. That was almost a two-stock take from Pac-Man. But they do keep the one lead on the side of Llamas. Let's go, Neumont. We can do it. That is true. This Ness is very cool. The Ness sadly got honestly unfairly treated by the Isabel. Really, really BM, if I'm being honest. But moving into this next set, next round, we have the Toon Link now down to two stocks against whatever Llamas wants to put out next. We may see Link against Link with the young Link coming out, or we could see the Isabel from last round kind of clean up. Or the final option could be that they throw something wild at us, right? I do think the young Link is probably my prediction. Like, if I were to guess what would happen and bet some money on it, I feel like the Young Link could be a pretty reasonable option. Otherwise, we will be looking to see on the side of Yotes how they kind of deal with the fact they are now down one stock in a pretty solid position for the side of Neumont. Like, they are at a full three stocks. So even if they lose a stock first, as long as they keep the stocks equivalent for somewhat long time, they will be able to keep this lead. Whereas before, if that Pac-Man lost the stock, that would have just been game, as we just saw. I do wonder what would have happened if that Pac-Man was able to secure a second stock. It looks like Neumont is ready to go, so they're just waiting on Yotes to secure their character choice. Oh, excuse me, not their character choice, since they won. So the Toon Link just needs to get in. I'm assuming they're setting the map, since both teams need to set the same stage to make sure that the stage is correct. Once again, we've seen so much PS2 and so much small battlefield. I would love to see something a little bit different. I will always be rooting for some Hollow Bastion gameplay, because I am a Kingdom Hearts fanatic and I love that stage. But either way, it does turn out that the Links will be fighting each other on this set. But I will never get my wish as we return to small battlefield. All right, moving into neutral, Toon Link just both players are really just going to want to throw out boomerangs, throw out arrows, try to get some value. Boomerang comes out, able to find some percentage on the Young Link. Both of them just throwing projectiles, wanting some value, but nothing really comes out in time. Arrows come out, just trying to pressure this Toon Link into some sort of state where the Young Link can punish. Llama's really wanting that strong opening. Finally finding something, able to get 60%, but I mean, that's been quite a long start to this match, and we are already back to neutral. Grab comes out from the Toon Link, able to get some value. Spin attack misses, able to get a grab on the side of the Toon Link. Doesn't get much follow-up, though. We are in quite an interesting stalemate at this point, as neither team has really taken some solid damage or any solid lead. Both teams really just fishing for more damage, fishing for more kills. 94% is finally at the point where Toon Link might be looking at kill percentage, but Young Link is also almost at kill. So we are really just looking at anyone's game here. $116, $124. Finally getting a pick. Hold on. Sorry, I zoned out for a second. 40% on the Toon Link. We are now up 2 stocks on the side of Neumont, as this Young Link is really still not at the percentage where it could be killed. Toon Link able to throw out a boomerang, but not finding value from it. Recovery coming out from the Young Link, getting hit by their own bomb. Points are even in terms of percentage, but 2 stocks ahead on the side of Neumont. It will look like it might be Neumont's game as long as they play smart. This neutral is really interesting, with both teams having such similar kits. The Toon Link launched out of the skybox, but not quite getting the kill, as a pick is finally taken on Neumont so that they do secure. But as soon as I say that, Toon Link gets exploded, keeping the 2-point lead on the side of Neumont. We have the final game possibly on our hands, as the anchor for Yoles has to come out to secure this round 2 of Crew Battle. All right. Moving into what I believe is game 6 of round 2. It will be up to the anchor of Yols to secure this final 5 stocks. It is an uphill battle, but it is not impossible for them to pull it off. However, Llamas can sit comfortably knowing that they can make a few mistakes while still being in the lead. Meanwhile, Yols, it'll be interesting to see. They have been changing up their character choices quite a lot, so it will be curious to see who is the one that will take the lead. Will it be the Cloud that we saw earlier, all the way back in the beginning of round 1? Wasn't even streamed, actually. That was still when I was setting up. Or will it be something completely new? I do not believe this is the Rosalina player, so I don't think the Rosalina will be coming back. I think the Rosalina player was playing Isabelle round 1, which was a very interesting choice from the side of Yols. It did secure them the first round, but was that really the smart play to put the anchor in where the starter is usually? We saw quite a fast turnaround on who has had lead, and now it's been pretty consistently Neumont's for most of the second half of the set. And so it will be curious to see if really that choice decides to bite them in the back. In terms of map picks, I am hoping, I am begging, I am pleading, please put me on something besides PS2 and Small Battlefield. Give me some Hollow, give me some Smashville, give me some Town. A Lucina. Lucina comes out. That is not what I was expecting. With a 2-stock lead, can Llamas secure this game? Hollow Bastion, let's go, baby! All right. We see the taunt signaling that both teams are ready. Lucina taunts as well, and the game has begun. Neutral begins with a pretty standard, just trying to get some value. Already 30% out on the Lucina, though. Get some solid picks, 58. Arrow barely misses to continue that combo. Boomerang, spin attack, nothing gets value. And the young Link is now kind of being edgeguarded as we return to neutral. Percentage is basically even. Just kind of throwing out the projectiles, trying to get the young Link the chance to punish, whereas the Lucina just trying to find a way to get in, get past this wall. Able to find the solid hit on the young Link, though not finding the chance to really lead it into anything, as the young Link does get 2 hits, but once again, just not much in terms of combos or chains. But as I say that, the first stock is taken by Neumont, putting them now in a 3-stock lead. More hits coming out on the Lucina. 36%, 46%, up air, not finding much on the second one. Third one comes out, does get something, 105. The young Link is at kill percentage, but the Lucina will be soon as well, as it is almost triple digits with a 3-stock lead on the side of Neumont. Neutral air comes out. Spin attack, shield break, doesn't quite get it. Grab, already edge guarding the young Link, but not really doing much to commit to it. Finally commits to something, gets a pick, and that is one down on the side of Neumont, but there's still a long ways to go if Neumont wants to get the final, if Yol wants to get the final picks on Neumont. Lucina now at kill percent on their second stock. This could be down to 1 stock, but that's not to say that currently Yols does have the stock advantage, at least in the concept of this specific match, as we return to Rising Falls. Forward smash comes out, doesn't get much. Grab to try to edge guard, but just no value coming out from it. Shield break attempt, but whiffs completely. Able to bounce off stage, and that secures the... Holy crap, that secures the Last stock on the Young Link, which now puts Neumont at a 1-stock lead. That is a solid performance from Yols. However, as we know, Neumont's anchor, pretty solid. We saw in last round was able to secure a 3-3 down to a 2-0 for the side of Neumont. And now we have a 3-2, so it would really have to be an uphill battle for the Yols to secure their final 3 picks. Both sides probably deciding what stage will be coming out. Thank you to whoever chose Hollow Bastion. I thank you quite deeply in my heart. All right. Looking forward to the next game. We are almost certain we're going to be seeing a Lucina and Isabelle come out as in terms of characters. Llama's Isabelle was quite solid last game and will likely continue to be that foundation that Llamas needs to finish this game up. However, Yols does have the chance to reverse it and lead this into a round 3, which on the one hand, I get to cast more, but on the other hand, I have to cast more. So I'm not sure if I would want a round 3. However, I'll still be here either way. If we do go to a round 3, you will be hearing me cast the entire action of Neumont Llamas versus Blue Yols in Smash Bros. Ultimate. In terms of really just the status of the entire match, it has been electrically close. Each and every game has been down to 1, maybe 2 stocks. And so it really just boils down to, can the Yols get the positive stock matchup and bring this to a round 3, or will Llamas secure it and let everybody go home? Isabelle does come out, meaning that it will be the final matchup for this round. On stage, for stages, we are on... Interesting. Oh, seems like I believe this is Town City. I don't remember which is which, but I think this is Town City. Either way, interesting to see something new. I believe this is Llama's choice, so could just be trying to, you know, have a little bit of fun, do something new, or maybe this stage is secretly broken for Isabelle, and I don't know. Isabelle does have the damage, quite a good bit of damage on her, already 70% when we are beginning this game, but that doesn't really matter when Lucina really is down a stock completely, and percentage is already evening up. 74% on the Lucina, 82 on the Isabelle, though. Neither are quite at kill percent, but it is just a few hits until then. 96 on the Isabelle, able to be killed with a smooth punish if they're smart. 94 also on the Lucina, really just anybody's game, but the jab block able to get some damage out on the Lucina. And now it is an even stock game, but it's not an even percentage game as Lucina takes a stock on the Isabelle, but is at 107. 13% on the Isabelle, but just an absurd amount of damage on the Lucina. Really ready for anything to kill. Able to barely shield that forward smash that would have secured the stock likely. Able to get 58 on the Isabelle. Up smash comes out, doesn't get some forward airs to get some extra damage, but I don't think that's really needed when the Lucina is at 136. Many things could kill at this point. Forward air comes out, fish comes out, nothing gets value. A pick is finally secured at 147. A grab comes out, forward air, forward air. We kind of return to neutral as there is a 1-stock lead on the side of Neumont, still secured. 77% on the Isabelle. Could be an even game quite soon. Could be down to last stock as Isabelle is now at 90%. 106 on the Isabelle, 121 on the Isabelle. A single hit could kill, and it would be a very close game since Lucina is at quite a low percentage. 137, it is an even game as Lucina is now at 27% and Isabelle is at 0. This game is suddenly much closer than it was at the beginning of the set, as the Lucina is really just able to get some solid damage out on the Isabelle, and now it is almost completely even. If anything, technically the Lucina now has advantage, if only by 5%. Ooh, a whiffed up special comes out, which doesn't really get much, and it gets punished by a forward smash. Another forward smash comes out, and as soon as the chance appears, it was once again gone, as Neumont once again secures a victory with their Isabelle, securing the final victory of the set with a 2-0 win against Blue Yoles. Overall, a quite fiery set from both teams. That second round especially was extremely down to the wire, and there is a world where we would have gone to a round 3. But now it will look like we are about to wrap up here, as our Isabelle has secured us a PCL win for the Smash Ultimate team. All right. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I was Albie casting today, and thank you so much for enjoying this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Smash